Let's fake the moon. First, we need to find NASA's fake moon images. Let's go to NASA Moon Textures, and we'll click on the first link. Let's download this fake moon texture. We'll take the largest one, this one, and we'll download it into our project source images. Click Save. And scroll down, and let's download the displacement map. We'll go down here and click the largest one as well. Save that. Now we need to convert these textures to something that Maya can work with better. The first thing we need to do is in Nuke, we need to set our project from the Nuke color management to OCIO, and then the OCIO config, we need to set it to ACES 1.2. Let's bring in the images. I'll bring in first the displacement map, and then I'll bring in the color map. For the color map, we need to set it to ACES-CG as well. We'll go right here to input transform, color spaces, and set this to ACES-CG. Like that. And then let's convert this from its original color to ACES-CG. We'll set an OCIO color space node and change the input here to color spaces, utility, and we'll pick a linear Adobe sRGB. Now we can write this out. I'm going to add a write node, just press W, and we'll write this out as an EXR. I'm going to click the folder icon. I'm going to write it in here. I'm going to call it moondiff.exr. Like that, click Save, and then we'll make it an ACES compliant EXR. And then for the output transform, we'll set it to ACES-CG, like that. And then just click Render. Okay, it's done. Now let's do the same for the displacement. Let's add a write node, and we'll write it out as moon_bsp.exr. Click Save. This one we'll leave at scene linear, and then we'll just write it. Now let's go into Maya, and now we need to convert these EXRs to TX files. We'll go to Arnold, open up Utilities, and open up TX Manager. We can set this to folder textures. Browse for the folder. It's right here. That's the right one. It's going to show us the textures that we have here. We want the EXR. We want to select both the EXRs and then click Create TX for selected. Now it's done. It'll take a while, so be patient. Now let's build our moon. First, we need a sphere. Let's make it really dense. Let's do 256 for both subdivisions and set our scale to something large, like 100. Now let's make a light. Let's go to Arnold, Lights, Area Light, and then just move it out to make it bigger. Let it point at the moon like this. Control A to open the attributes, and let's change it to a disk. And then let's move it really far away. That'll be our sun. We'll always bring it down a little bit. The sun is about 5,700 kelvins for color temperature. I think it's 57.7, like that. And it needs to be really bright. Let's set it to 25. Let's do a test render. There it is. Looks great. Now let's build up our material. Assign the material. We'll make a standard surface. Let's turn the rendering off for now. And for the color, we will pick color texture, the TX. We need the diffuse raw ACES-CG TX. Click open. For the displacement, we're going to open the hypershade and graph the material. Let's graph it. Let's add a file node, Control D, and then hold Control and middle drag the place to D node on top of this new node. And then we can click the folder icon and pick the displacement. Click open. You want to make sure the color space is set to scene linear ACES-CG like this. And we'll do the same for this one because they both are ACES-CG files now. For the displacement to connect it, we need to select the shading group node and then middle drag displacement file texture into the displacement material. And we need to reconnect the texture to the displacement shader using the red channel. You notice that in Nuke, the displacement texture looked red. We're going to be using the red channel because that's the only thing that has information. And then for the scale, we'll set it to 0.1 for now. Now let's do another test render and see what happens. This is normal. It means it's working. All we need to do is just change our displacement height. Let's open up the hypershade again. We can select the displacement shader. If I press Control A, the attribute is going to be open here, and then we can set the scale to 0.001. Let's set the scale to 0.0005. We also need to add some subdivision to the sphere. So if you go to Arnold and then go down to subdivision. So the way you get to it is in the shape node. So you have to select the object, go to the shape node, which is the second tab. Scroll down to Arnold subdivision, set the type to Cat Clark, and then for the subdivisions, let's add it to 3. It's going to be a little heavy, but it should be fine. Now we need to add another light because the Earth reflects light. It's not real, it's all fake, but let's just add it so it looks like the fake images. So let's turn this off and let's add another light. Arnold light, area light, to make it bigger. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's rotate it a little bit this way and move it back. Make it a disk as well. And then for this one, We're going to set the color temperature all the way to the right to kind of mimic the Earth. And for the exposure, let's set it to 20 and hit the render button. There it is. You can see we have the Earth reflecting on the moon. We can make it brighter or darker depending how we feel. I think this looks pretty good. We can also orient moon so it faces us the way we see the moon from the Earth, which is tidal locked to us. So I'm going to take this new light, I'm going to put it inside this group that I've renamed light group, and we can rotate that as well to adjust where the sun and the Earth is. And if we select the moon, we can rotate it until we see where that big spot that we see from Earth is. It's hard for you to see what we're looking at. Go to show, go to viewport, and then on the bottom here, turn off selection highlighting. That way we can select it and rotate it. And I think from the images that I see, we should be looking at something that looks like this. And that's it. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. I will make this file available on my Patreon. Just go there so you can download this project. And I'll see you guys next time.